Good day, yogis, and welcome back onto the mat with me for a beginner's yin sequence. So we're stripping it back today. We're going into some of the base postures or shapes for yin yoga, and we're going to take it slow, and we're going to be juicy in each one of our postures. Find that space of stillness and take this time to really turn inwards with our practice. So for today's practice, you're going to need to grab yourself a yoga mat and possibly 2 brick blocks if you have them, a blanket rolled up. Whatever you need, grab hold of it now and come and meet me on the mat. So find yourself a comfortable position, coming into easy seat or sukhasana, bringing one foot in front of the other, shins and thighs on the ground. Bring the hands together to touch. Allow yourself a moment here to connect, joining right and left hemispheres, beginning to rub the palms together, generating some warmth between the hands. And then gently allowing the hands to come into the heart center, connecting here, closing the eyes. Allow yourself now to connect to the breath as you begin to inhale and exhale deeply through the nose. Allowing our practice today to be very centering and grounding as we follow the breath and connect the movement to the breath. In Yin Yoga, we long hold our postures for 3 to 5 minutes, allowing the body to stretch and to tap into the connective tissues, ligaments, and fascial layer of the body. Allow your awareness once more to come back to the breath, feeling the palms of the hands resting against one another, bone pressing into bone. Connecting here deeply with your inner being. On your next exhale, you can gently lower the hands down to the knees and allow yourself a few more deep cleansing breaths here. Allowing the shoulders to drift away from the ears as you lengthen up from the base of the spine, growing taller, creating space between the vertebrae, creating an open channel from the root chakra all the way out through the crown. So the Sushumna Nadi that runs like a hosepipe, connecting each one of the chakras. By lengthening up and creating space, we allow for free movement of energy. Allow yourself to become aware of sounds outside of the room that you're in. Just noticing those sounds, not attaching to any of them. And then gently draw your awareness and hearing into the room, to sounds within the room. Just noticing those, not attaching. Finally drawing your awareness once more back to the breath as you deeply inhale and exhale through the nose. Setting an intention for your practice today to explore the movement and the breath within your body. Allow yourself a few more deep breaths here. And then when you're ready, you can gently flutter the eyes open. So for our beginners Yin Yoga session today, So you're also going to need a bolster. So the very first posture that we're going to take, you can either use 2 pillows stacked upon one another, or a couple of pillows wrapped in a blanket, or a bolster similar to this one. And then we can come down into our first Yin Yoga posture, which is reclined butterfly, or butterfly, in fact it's butterfly pose. So we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, so as though you were coming into traditional butterfly of Hatha Yoga. We walk the feet out, away from the groin, so about a couple of feet away, and then we're going to start to forward fold over the thighs and allow ourselves to drift down. Bringing the fingers, you can interlace fingers around the toes, and you can allow the forehead to drop down. So it's fine to have an arching through the back here. So this is not like the traditional way of sending chest down to feet. So this is what it looks like in side view. Allow yourself to sink the body down, letting go, opening up. So you can grab hold of a bolster, propping it up onto a block, whatever you need here. Just allowing yourself to be comfortable, bringing the ground a bit closer if you need to. Whatever you need in this posture, take it. We're here for 3 minutes. So allow yourself to fully surrender now into butterfly pose. Relaxing the fingers, the arms. If you feel that you have a bit of tension within the hips and you'd like to adjust the posture, you can grab hold of a block and place that under each one of the knees. So I'm feeling a little bit tender today after a very intense practice yesterday. So I want to take that little bit extra care of my body by bringing in the props and allowing myself to really surrender and let go. Not forcing my body in any way. And once you find yourself at that edge of a fire, allow yourself to fully surrender. Allowing yourself to take deep breaths in and out through the nose. Softening the entire body, so again, not forcing anything, and adjusting into the stretch. Just walking yourself through the shape as you begin to soften through the feet, soften into the hips, the knees. Just noticing as time goes by within each shape, how the body begins to release and let go, how you are able to melt further without forcing, just by being mindful. Deep inhalations and exhalations. Allowing yourself to quieten the mind. As Yin Yoga is a beautiful mindful practice. Becoming fully aware of the moment that you're in, what you are doing, what the intention is here. Deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling,
Seeing if you can slow down both inhalation and exhalation, and possibly extending the exhalation. Just posing the question to yourself about how you can surrender just that little more, whether or not it's possible to let go just that tiny bit more. Noticing what this shape presents to you. What is the body? What are the messages that you're getting from the body? Just resolving to find a space of stillness. Turning inward and softening the entire body as you melt down into butterfly.
Gently coming out of the posture, bringing the hands into the mat as you gently begin to walk the body out, very mindfully drawing the knees closed. Every single movement we're going to take today is going to be very mindful and slow, rolling over onto the knees, coming into the next shape, which is melting heart. So we're going to come into tabletop to get into this posture. Knees are stacked underneath the hips. Allow the tops of the feet to flatten. Let's take a couple of cat-cows before we move into our melting heart. So inhale to drop the belly and gaze forward. And as you exhale, draw the spine up and gaze to navel. Inhale, drop belly, gaze forward. Exhale, gaze to navel. Inhale, drop belly, gaze forward. Exhale, gaze to navel, drop spine. Last one, inhale. And exhale, roll up. Coming back to neutral, let's begin to walk the hands forward, coming into our melting heart pose. So hands come to the front of the mat and begin to lower the forehead down, bowing it down to the ground. Relax the forearms onto the mat. The hips are stacked above the knees here, and we're going to be here for 3 minutes. So really allowing yourself to melt down and to let go into the shape. Resting the forearms onto the mat. You can have the toes tucked here if you want, or just have them resting down. Forehead is melting into the ground. Just allow yourself to surrender here in melting heart pose. Once more, walking through the shape, just noticing what sensations are presented in the body.
Deep breaths. Breathing right down into the bottom of the belly as you allow yourself to melt down that little bit further with each exhalation. With every exhale, allow the body to melt down a little deeper, opening and surrendering. In Yin Yoga, we unhold the postures, as I mentioned, to work into the connective tissue, the fascial layer, and the ligaments of the body. But we really work into a state of learning to surrender. Learning to quieten down. Yin Yoga focuses on the lunar energies, focuses on the meridians and the balancing thereof. Continuing with your deep inhalations and exhalations, surrendering the body further into the ground with every breath.
Gently pressing the palms back into the mat, walking the hands back. Gently drop yourself into child's pose, so dropping the heels down to the buttocks, keeping the knees slightly wide, dropping the forehead, and just gently allow the arms to rest beside you for a few moments of recovery. Enjoying the extension through the spine, breathing deeply into the full chest cavity. Taking in the last few deep cleansing breaths here before moving into downward facing dog, and then into the next of our yin shapes, which is going to be dragon pose. On the next exhale, gently extend the hands forward, press the palms into the mat, tuck the toes, and raise yourself up into downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here, and on the next exhale, we're going to step the right leg forward and drop down onto the knee. So coming into dragon pose, we can have one hand beside, so it's essentially a runner's lunge. The back foot is flat on the ground. We work here to ensure that the knee is stacked over the ankle, and then hands are placed flat on either side of the foot. If this is not accessible to you, you can raise up onto fingertips or grab hold of two blocks and place them on either side of the foot. We extend forward, gazing forward, keeping a lovely flat spine, dropping down into the hip flexor of the left hip, and closing the eyes, and then once more sinking into stillness, allowing yourself deep breaths here. Press down with the sole of the right foot. Wrists are stacked underneath shoulders. Eyes are closed as you turn back inwards. Once more noticing what is presented to you whilst being in dragon pose. Fully surrendering down into the mat, into the shape. Turning your focus and attention once more to the breath as you deeply inhale and exhale. Once more, bringing your awareness to the 3 principles of Yin Yoga. Number 1 being to find your edge, which is an edge of a 5 out of 10. So not pushing past that. Allowing space and room for the body to adjust into each shape. The second principle, to find stillness. So not moving and then holding the posture. Seems very simple, but when you get into these postures and you care for an amount of time, this is where the work is really done. Gently allowing yourself to come out of the posture, rolling back slowly onto the left knee. If you've got blocks, you can remove them now out of the way. Gently tuck the back toe. We're going to press back up into downward facing dog. So allow yourself to once more adjust in downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. And then we're going to step the left foot forward, so coming into dragon now on the left side. So once more adjusting yourself, stepping the back knee, lowering the right back foot, and then once more adjusting through and into the posture. And if you were on blocks on the right side, then take those blocks on the left side too. Bring the ground a bit closer to the hands. And then once more, once you've found your edge, you can settle back down into the shape. Turn your focus and awareness back to the breath. Find that space of stillness once more. Go within. Working on a deeper layer here of the body. So just noticing what that presents for you. Pressing down into the ground with that left sole of the foot. Moving into the last 30 seconds of our stretch. Where can you surrender that bit more? Gently begin to roll back onto the right knee, shifting the blocks aside, getting ready to step back into downward facing dog. Tuck that right back toe and then gently step yourself back into downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. Drop the knees and come over onto the back for the next of our shapes, which is called Reclining Twist. So come onto the buttocks, roll yourself onto the back, stretch the arms out and the feet away from the body, so feel as though toes and fingers are being stretched and pulled away from one another. Take a deep breath here. And as you exhale gently, we're going to start to move into reclining twist by bending the knees into the chest. And then we're going to take the arms out into cactus, so having them in this shape, allowing them to sink down into the mat. And then gently drawing the knees over to the left side first. Roll them over and allow them to drop all the way down to the ground if they can. So again, if you find that the right shoulder is lifting up too high off the ground, you can take one of your blocks and use them as a little bit of a support. So as you're rolling into your twist. So drawing the knees up and then allowing them to roll over, and if you need that support, then take it. Gazing up to the ceiling, allow the body to sink down into the mat. And just surrender and let go for 3 minutes. Once more, noticing what presents within the body as you surrender down into reclined twist. Awareness back into the body. Just scan through the shape and what it's presenting to you. Whether or not you're able to fully surrender, letting go of any tension through the body, just allowing the body to feel the target area of this gentle twist through the lower spine. If you move the knees up higher or more towards the arms. You feel the twist a little bit deeper or higher up into the back. So play around with the posture. Move the knees where it works for you. Allowing yourself a moment to walk through the shape, noticing what it's presenting within your body. Seeing where you can soften just that little more, maybe through the feet, maybe through the arms, maybe the neck. Wherever you can soften, do so. Gently draw the knees back up towards the ceiling, roll onto the back, and adjust yourself now to roll over onto the right side. So if you were using a block or a bolster, you can do so now on the other side by rolling the knees over. Arms are still in cactus. Roll the knees over and down. And once more, allow yourself to settle into the shape. Gazing up towards the ceiling. Deep breaths. So it's time to go inward, to be in a state of mindfulness, being very present with what's going on in the body, being very mindful and grateful for the vessel that takes you through life. Honoring the sensations and honoring searching for the edge of the 5. Not pushing past. Walking through the shape, noticing what it's presenting. Noticing if you can soften just a little more. Maybe unclench the jaw. Maybe soften the feet. As we move into the last 30 seconds of Reclining Twist. Maybe taking a big yawn. It's a beautiful, slow beginner's yin sequence today, suitable for all. Just to get the energies moving through the body, through the meridians, unblocking anything that feels stuck. Gently draw the knees back up towards the ceiling, hugging them into the chest. Take a gentle rock here from side to side. We're going to move into the next of our beginner yin postures or shapes. We're going to come into Shavasana but on the belly. So grab hold of the back of the thighs here. Gently begin to rock and roll. So drawing yourself up and back, rolling gently on the spine until you come up into seated, rolling straight over onto the belly and coming down on the mat into what is called belly Shavasana, allowing yourself to sink down on the belly and ground down into the mat. So forehead is resting, hands can be out beside you, out beside the body. You can bring the right cheek onto the mat. You can bring both foreheads, hands forward and rest the forehead. And let's just take 3 minutes here. Just fully allow the body to drift down into the ground. If you'd like to bring the right cheek down to the mat, you can do so by bringing the left knee out. Knee is in line with the hip, ankle in line with the knee, gaze towards this left side and just allow yourself to surrender here. Deep belly breaths into the belly, expanding through the belly as you inhale. And as you exhale, expand more air out. And once more, yawning if you feel you need to. Once more, working on the principle of surrender and what it means to fully let go in every one of our shapes. Truly surrendering the body down into the ground. You can gently move now to the other side, so bringing the leg back down onto the mat. You can now move the left cheek onto the mat and draw the right knee up in line with the hips and ankle in line with the knee, and then just rest here. Once more noticing what this shape presents for you, whether or not you are fully able to let go here. Surrendering down into the earth beneath you. Continuously aware of your breath, deeply inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Where can you let go just that little bit further? As we move into the last 30 seconds of belly Shavasana. Gently coming out of the shape and moving into the last of our beginner yin poses. Rolling back onto the belly. Gently bring the hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the back toes. We're moving into child's pose. It's the final of our postures. So you have the option here to either take the knees wide, draw the toes together, and then lower the buttocks down onto the heels, or you can have the knees together, whatever works for you. We're going to be here for 5 minutes, so really allowing yourself to surrender into the shape, whatever it is for you today. Put the forehead down into the mat. Allow the thighs or the belly to just soften and melt over the thighs. If you need, you can prop up the hands, resting the forehead onto the hands. If you feel you want to just adjust and change the posture, bring it into a wide-legged, whatever feels right to you. If you want to thread the hands through touching the feet, whatever feels right to you, go there. Surrendering down into the ground. Beautiful child's pose, really allowing the body, this moment in time, to just be present in the moment, mindful movement of the body. How can you soften and surrender just that little bit more? As we move into the last minutes of our child's pose, our final posture in this beginner's Yin Yoga sequence,
just notice what is going on within the thoughts and the emotions today. Whether or not you were able to shift any negative thoughts or emotions, whether or not you were able to fully let go into the shape that you're in. Deeply honoring the body. Allowing yourself last moments now in child's pose, surrendering fully into the ground beneath you. And when you're ready, we're gently going to come out, coming up and over, onto the back and into Shavasana, or final relaxation. So allow yourself to come down, grab hold of a blanket or a pillow, not a pillow, socks, whatever you need to keep yourself warm. Bring the feet to the edges of the mat, and let's allow ourselves to completely let go for final relaxation. Feet flop out at the sides of the mat, hands come out beside you. Adjust through the shoulders, and then completely surrender into the ground. Deep breaths in and out through the nose. Beginning with the soles of the feet, the toes, the ankles. Scan here for any tension. Letting go and relaxing. Moving up through the shins and calves into the knees. Searching for any tension here, letting go and relaxing. Moving up into the hips, the hip flexors, through the pelvis and into the belly. Allowing the whole body to surrender as you let go and relax. Awareness to the tips of the fingers, moving into the palms and wrists. Softening through the forearms, elbow, upper arms, shoulders. Allowing the arms to melt down deeper into the ground beneath you. Softening through the chest. Allowing the shoulder blades to melt down. Unclenching the jaw, slightly separating the teeth away from one another, resting the tongue on the roof of the mouth as you fully relax through the mouth, the eyes, softening through the forehead, moving up finally to the crown and then to the back of your head, where it's resting on your mat. Allowing yourself time now to fully surrender into the ground beneath you. Whole entire body is relaxed. Taking a few moments in full Shavasana relaxation.
And when you're ready, you can begin to wriggle the toes, bringing some movement into the feet. Gently taking the tip of your thumb, drawing it across the tips of your fingers, allowing the head to roll over from one side and then to the other. Gently drawing the arms up overhead, taking a deep stretch before hugging the knees into the chest and gently rolling up, coming into easy seat once more for our last moments here. Just noticing any sensations in the body, having moved through this beautiful beginner's Yin Yoga sequence. Bringing the hands into prayer once more, beginning to rub the palms together, generating some warmth between the hands. And then resting your hands into heart center, taking a deep inhale. And as you exhale, bow the nose down to touch the fingertips, acknowledging yourself for coming or turning up to the practice. For today's beautiful, gentle, beginner's Yin Yoga sequence. Namaste. Wishing you a truly beautiful day further. Be kind to yourself and be kind to others.